Good afternoon. I'm Yvonne Ankerman. I'm the artist in residence on board the expedition ship, and I'm hoping that today you will come and paint with me. So when we're on board and on ships, we normally paint mainly in watercolor because oils and acrylics might be a little bit too, should I say, rough for the ship. We don't want the smell of oil or turpentine or that sort of thing in the ship, and it might be a fire hazard as well, and acrylic is not ideal. So watercolor and pen and ink is what we do, and I thought maybe we could try a few fun projects that you can maybe do at home with me. So this is just a little bit of what I do when I'm on the ship. I paint ashore as well, teach people, give workshops, teach people how to paint, do a little bit of sketching and sketchbooks, but I'm also a Zodiac driver, and this is one of the images of Greenland, the most beautiful country to visit. But so for watercolor painting, you don't need that much. You just need a small little palette of paints that can either be the little pads that you buy in the shop with ready colors mixed in them, or what I do is I buy the tubes, and then I like to buy individual ones that I like, and then I press the watercolor into an empty palette, and it has like a lid that closes, so it's great for traveling around. And it's really, you don't need a lot of equipment when you do watercolor. It can all fit into a small little pouch, your book, a couple of brushes, a fold down container for water, a bit of a spray bottle, and your palette and some paper. So you really don't need a lot of stuff. So a lot of you might have a few things already at home, a couple of brushes, pencils, that sort of thing. And that is what we're going to use today. I have decided that we're going to try a few greeting cards, something that you can do for either for a gift for somebody at home, or I've also included a few little tags, and if you look right at till the end, some bookmarks, nice little gift for people, especially maybe with Christmas coming up, something that you can use out of not having an absolutely perfect, fully detailed painting. So this is just something that's quite a lot of fun. Here I've just drawn a fish and sort of cut out a little template on the left, traced it onto a paper that I've covered in some masking tape so that the paint doesn't go all over the show. And I've done it a certain size. It's you can't see now with my photo there, but it's about 15, let's have a look. Yeah, so it was about 11 centimeters by about 15 or 16 centimeters. So normal card size. And here I'm just going to show you on the little video the end of me drawing it onto the paper. Then I always have 2 glasses of water. One is to clean your brush. So you always have one pot of water to mix your brushes in, and you keep the other one quite nice and clean. So you add some water to your paint, and then you mix it in your little mixing area. So what I do first, this is one of the techniques in watercolor. It's called wet on wet. So I'm first wetting the page with clean water. Then I'm taking my mixture of paint that I've already mixed, and I paint it on top of the wet paper. This provides a beautiful flow of paint. So you don't have those dry brush marks strokes that just sort of stop and start. This really, the one flows into the other. And that is the sort of effect I was looking for today. You can see how the colors blend quite nicely. Choose any colors you like. You really, you can go mad here. Pinks and reds or nice earthy colors, it really doesn't matter. So I have just chosen colors that go with the sea, something that blends in nicely, and something with a bit of contrast. So the yellow showing a little bit of contrast with the darker blue, but eventually when these all mix together, they become like a nice turquoisey color anyway. So once you've done that, you need to let it dry quite a lot. So that is my hair dryer that it'll just helps to dry the whole thing a lot quicker. especially if you're working indoors and coming into the winter now in certain parts of the country, you might be working indoors for these type of things. You can also, instead of making your own cards with like a sort of harder watercolor paper, you can also buy ready-made watercolor paper cards that you just need to fold in the middle, and then you can paint anything you want on top. It's a brand called Fabriano, the one that I have here, and it's something for a quick and easy little gift if you're just doing something for somebody specific. Once my painting is dry, I pull off the masking fluid. Always pull a little bit away from the paper, otherwise it is going to tear the paper. Next to the fishes, I've just decided I'm going to do another little one so that I could do 2 cards at the same time. Here I've done exactly the same. I've drawn these circles with a stencil. I had an old stencil from school. So you can do any shapes, little blocks, triangles, some of these old little geometry sets that you had from school. You can use anything like that, or anything round if you want to do the round ones. Here again, I wet my paper first and then took my ready mixed paint and put it onto the wet paper. And this just creates this lovely flow that so you don't have these stiff, hard lines. And you never know exactly how it's going to come out. And that is one of the beauties of watercolor, is that you never know exactly how it's going to come out. So there's always like a little bit of mystery behind it. And what I do over here as well, once I've put the paint on, I just add a touch of water, plain clean water, to the middle of the circle, and that just pushes the paint away a little bit, and it just makes it blend a bit faster. So you let that dry as well, and then this is what it looks like when it's dried. So I have used do you see these 2 little bottles at the bottom? They are ink, and I've just used that instead of watercolor this time, so something a bit different. You might have some colored inks in the house, or maybe your children have some that they've used in an art class, and this is the little set that I used to make my circles. The next thing that I use quite a bit are these Posca pens. They are acrylic pens. So when you draw on paper with them, they're completely waterproof, so they won't smudge whatsoever. And you can buy them any sizes, from pretty thin to really big, fat, thick sizes. And you shake them up and down quite a bit, and press the little nib down with it, like the same as any permanent marker, I guess. And then you can go around the lines of your little painting. So here I'm going to just show you what I've done with the pen. You can buy the pens in all different colors. So I've just got a white, a black, and a couple of greens here. I only have maybe 6 or 7 different colors at home, but you can get any color you like. So there I'm using the white one. And what's great about this especially is that you can draw on top of the watercolor, on top of ink, and it will not smudge at all. And you can just create some nice little patterns. This is now the black Posca pen. I've decided I'll make these little flowers. They can be anything you want. You can put stems on them, and just have fun and make different patterns and different designs. And there you have it. Those are the cards. So now I'm going to show you just how to make a couple of bookmarks and tags. That is really, really very simple. So I've taken my watercolor paper, I've masked it down into the shapes, the long shapes already. I've got my color mixed on the left-hand side. Here again, I'm painting with water first. Then I take my wet paint and I drop it onto the wet paper, and you see how nicely it runs and pushes paint away, and it just makes all kinds of shapes. Here again, you don't know how it's going to come out. Again, the absolute beauty about watercolor is it has a life of its own. It's always doing something different. And that's what keeps me interested as well. If I knew exactly what it was going to do and put every point and dot in, maybe it wouldn't attract me that much. But I love just experimenting, having fun, And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So don't be discouraged if it doesn't work out the way you thought. You learn from every time that you do it. If it's not quite right, then you learn from it. And doing these little projects, it really, really doesn't matter, because you just want abstracty shapes that just dry flat and any way you like. There where you pull the masking tape away, you see sort of the nice clean line that you get from it. And once you've pulled it all away, you can add some strings and cut them up. So from 2 of these long things, I've created 2 little tags for each one. Punch a hole in the bookmark as well, and that's normal parcel tape that I have attached, and you can use that. So they don't have to be Christmas ones, they could be for your gifts, for anyone at home. And the fact that it's handmade by you, I think, just means so much more than buying all these things in a shop. And I think whoever you give it to is really going to appreciate that you have made it all yourself. So these are the little projects that I then made today, the 2 cards, the bookmarks, the little tags that you can use for gifts or Christmas gifts, and some great little project just for the day, especially on a cold winter's day, maybe to do some stuff at home, and make quite a few, have them in the box. You never know when you need that odd luck little gift to give someone, then you've always got something handy. So I hope that you've enjoyed this and have a lot of fun. And if you like this video, or if you have a little comment for me, you can put a comment at the bottom and I can see and maybe answer you if you have any questions. It's really not a problem. So we all hope to be back on the ship again soon, and maybe I can show you personally on hand, on board, exactly what we do.